morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Facebook AMS live call. Today is August 8th. I have the intro for the call today, and I just have a few things to go over with you. To start off, we'll do our weekly numbers. This is week 31 of IUL's issue paid. We have Danielle B with 5,714, David A with 369, David P with 28,412, Dawn S with 2,879, Gabriel T with 5,517, Gerald G with 1,587, Ian H with 4,666, and Jeffrey E with $2,100. Joshua M with 2,720, and Lewis S with 12,468, bringing our weekly total to 66,432. Then for issue paid annuities, this is July 25th through July 31st. We have Brian H with 338,047, Mark K with 177,337, Jane C with 123,724, Danielle B with 92,182, Sulan Chung with 83,688, Brian L and David P with a split on 64,596, Danielle B with 63,732, Alan G with 59,565, Jack Y with 58,835, Gregory M with 54,663, Michael M with 54,336, Jack Y with 50,000, Jose M with 47,866, Jose G with 47,104, Isidoro G with 40,000, Alan G with 39,798, Raymond D with 31,980, Lisa A with 27,500, Paige L with 25,651, Michael M with 24,076, Bianca O with 20,429, Daniel W, John G with a split on $20,080, David P and Danielle B with a split on $18,539, Georgina S with 18,176, Patricia G with 17,222, Eugene S with 8,483, and Timothy K with 5,000, bringing our weekly total to about 1.6 million for the week. We had a great July, you guys. Our first year in business, 2014, we did just shy of 9 million total in annuities for the entire year. We got our contract first start of the year in January, and by the end of the year, first year in business, we had issued about $8.9 million. Last month, July, was our record month issue paid, and we issue paid about $11.5 million in annuities. So that exceeded our first whole year as FFL writing with Athene. So I just wanted to congratulate you guys on that. With that, we have our monthly promotions as well. So we had 14 agents who were promoted to yellow for issuing $100,000 in annuities. That was Jamie M, Dennis B, Sen M, Michael M, Stephen G, David A, Ronald M, Addison S, Darush K, Janice S, Gabriel R, Patricia G, Jerry C, and Benjamin S. Great job, you guys. Next promotions, we had 2 agents pass the $500,000 level. We had Jane C and Bradley A be promoted to the blue level. And then we had 2 agents pass the $1 million mark in July. That was Mark K and Raymond D. Congratulations, you guys, on that. So I want to point out just a few things on our FFL AMS site that we have updated. The first thing being the commission grid. So as you know, Sean's been talking about additional carriers that we've been bringing on. So if you go to fflams.com and you log in here and click on commissions, we now have the updated annuity carrier compensation grid along with the IUL compensation grid here. These are all our partners, primary partners. We do have some secondaries that we can go to if we need to, but these are our primary partners for annuities and IULs. I just want to point out, if you scroll down here, you can see all the annuity levels broken up by level. So green, yellow, blue, silver, and so forth. If you click onto those, it actually exports you to this PDF where it's a full comprehensive breakdown of all the annuity commissions for each carrier. So right now I'm scrolling through Athene because they have quite a bit. And then you get to Americo, which is our legacy products, Global Atlantic, annuity division, and then we have Guggenheim here at the end. So you can see per level what all your annuity commissions are for that, okay? I just want to point that out. I've had a lot of people asking me lately, so this information is all here. Feel free to look for it in emails if you have questions on that. The second thing I want to point out as a reminder is that as an FFL agent who is contracted with Athene and you have access to the AMS site, you do get your insurance strip account for free. So again, on the FFL AMS site, if you click on the insurance strip, it's going to bring you to the insurance strip website where you can push sign up. And you'll see that it zeroes out the price, and that is because it's offered you for free. So it's normally $75 a month, and you get it for free. So you guys, you should be utilizing this. You'll go here, simply click sign up again, and it's going to bring you to the registration page here. Agent ID and phone last four, these are the same things that you used to register for the FFL AMS site. So the agent ID is going to be your Athene writing number, and then the last four of your phone number that is registered with Athene. If you are having issues, please contact me on that as well. So here you would put in your agent info and then sign up, and what that does is generate your agent website customized to you. It's mobile friendly, so it's easy to point clients to. You get monthly newsletters as well as holiday newsletters. You can import all of your contacts from any of your leads, emails, so forth into this for contacts to have that distributed out to every month, as well as multiple other campaigns and Facebook and social media drips. In fact, let's review this 2-minute video coming up here that just goes over the benefits of what Insurance Drip can do for you. I just want to show you that. That's all I'll have for you this week. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
People spend over 3 hours every day emailing, texting, and on social media. They check their smartphones 150 times a day. Your client is evolving. Is your agent marketing evolving with it? Mailers and cold calls are yesterday's approach. It's time for something new, something smarter. Introducing LifeDrip, the only turnkey mobile marketing system built exclusively for insurance professionals. The sign-up is a snap. Add your credentials, your specialties, and your agent information, and LifeDrip creates your own personal agent website. Everything LifeDrip generates for you, social media leads, newsletters, and client recommendations, will lead back to your site. The site is formatted for all devices and even search engine optimized, increasing your visibility within your market. Connect your email accounts to LifeDrip and watch as automatically generated newsletters with custom content specific to your specialty begin to drip out to every one of your contacts and beyond. On Facebook or Twitter? Just plug those into LifeDrip. Marketing content tailored to your specialties will, drip by drip, populate your accounts. Need help getting on social media? No problem. The LifeDrip team can set you up and get you on your way. What is all this dripping anyway? You see, each message LifeDrip sends is a drip. But LifeDrip doesn't just send these messages, it monitors their reception. A handy dashboard view provides you with a real-time picture of your client's reactions. Was an email read, forwarded, ignored? Did a social media post take a client back to your site? And herein lies the real magic of LifeDrip. It tells you when a prospect is interested. LifeDrip's custom splash triggers notify you the moment a prospect has become engaged, cueing you for the sale.
Hey everyone, Sean Ruggiero. Welcome to the AMS Live Classroom. We're going to talk today about fixed index annuities versus the stock market. All right. I don't want to overtrain here, but to go back to something we talk about a lot, the stock market is the comfort zone. It is what we are used to, because why? When we are accumulating money, 401k, 403b, some sort of defined contribution plan, we use the stock market. Why do we use the stock market? Because it's an excellent way to accumulate wealth, right? We put money in every month. The market goes up and down, up and down, up and down, continues to go up over time, goes up more than it goes down, and you now have a retirement, okay? But what about when you have to spend that retirement? Not the accumulation phase, the decumulation phase. There are some inadequacies with the stock market that are better. They're exploited, I guess, when we talk about fixed index annuities. And I'm going to go through that and I'm going to compare those. So when we talk about the stock market, I'm not talking about the stock market from an accumulation tool. I'm talking about the stock market as a decumulation or a retirement tool compared to FIAs. So first thing here, when is 9.6% better than 10.5%? So if I were going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, here is your retirement, okay? Over the next 30 years, you're going to receive 9.6 or 10.5%. Which would you want? 10.5, correct? Unfortunately, that's not how it works, because the market, since 1970, 27% of the time, the market has gone down. We're talking about the S&P 500, 27% of the time. So if I was gambling, that's a great percentage. I'm winning almost 3/4 of the time. I'm probably gonna make a lot of money. But if this is all the money I have and I happen to hit those losses early on, I can run out of money. So if we look at this here, even though this one earned 9.5% and this one earned 10.5%, because this retirement account had a small loss in the beginning, 2 back-to-back losses early-ish, and then before 10 years was out, it had another small loss. As a result, they are out of money by age 84. A lot of you have seen this before, but it's a powerful demographic and it's using real data. It's using 30-year runs in the stock market that are just staggered by 10 years. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you're retiring today, tomorrow, this year, next year, in 3 years, Mr. and Mrs. Smith? What is going to happen? Is yours going to look like this blue line, or is yours going to look like this orange line? And don't be fooled by rates of return. That's one of the biggest mistakes we make, is we get fooled by rates of return. See, this orange line represents an average rate of return of 10.5%. 10.5%, but because we're not putting money into it and we're taking money out of it, and the losses were early on, you run out of money before you even hit your 85th birthday. Very powerful slide, very real lesson, something to remember. So, what is going to happen next? Many of you have seen this slide, bull versus bear. The bull market, when the market climbs up 20% or higher sequentially. Bear market, tearing down, when the market declines 20% or higher sequentially. Okay? We are currently, since 2009, 2010, in the longest, what is considered the longest bull market in the history of the United States. Why? Did we have some big federal, labor act? Did we just win a world war? Right? A lot of people are a little bit confused why. I'm not going to go into that. There's many different reasons that are, some are factual, some are speculative, but the reality is this. We're in the largest bull run in history. It's now 10 years. So what we do know is this. Historically speaking, the average bull run is 9 years, about 8.9 years. And you gain hundreds of percent. Now, that's if you bought at exactly this point, held your money for 10 years and sold at that point, or 9 years and sold at that point. But it is what it is. As far as accumulation goes, there's huge accumulation and they're long stretches of time. Now, in contrast to that, the average bear market is 1.5 years, roughly, and it happens every 9 years. So every 9 years these runs, historically speaking, and then look what happens. There's these sharp, vicious declines, and on average you lose 43%. So you might gain all this, but you're going to lose 43%. Not 43% of the beginning amount, 43% of this massive accumulation amount. Okay? So when we look at that, bear markets are very scary, and historically speaking, they always pop up. So if we were going to go based on the statistics, because we don't know what's going to happen, if we're going to go based on the statistics, we are overdue for a bear market. We had a scare. It looked like a bear market in December of 2018. It's popped back up. The S&P 500 has hit 3,000 points, exceeded it slightly, and it's very volatile. Now, some of that growth is inflation, a little bit. Some of it is that bond rates are so low, bond yields are so low that investors just keep pouring into the stock market because there's nowhere else to get a decent return. But whatever it is, historically speaking, What do you think is going to happen, Mr. Smith? Do you think we're going to never see another bear market? Or do you think it's going to happen next year or in 5 years? I showed you the graphic earlier that any of these losses sustained early, especially if they're not supported by large runs. See, we might have kind of a stasis growth. Maybe the S&P 500 gains 3%, 5%, 2%, but you're having to take out 5% every year. And then we take a loss of 10, and then we take a loss of 3%. Any combination of that could result in your funds being exhausted. Why not eliminate that fear altogether with an FIA? So, if we look at the Performance Elite, this is just one tool. We also have a very good accumulation product through Guggenheim, all right, using the Mark V S&P index. It is their Highlander, and Global Atlantic, excellent accumulation tool, as well as the Liberty Mark tool from underwritten by America, offered by Legacy. So we have 4 fantastic FIAs that all offer what? They offer volatility control indexes. Do you know what's a volatility control index? Simply put, it only allows the index to drop slightly before it pulls the money out to cash. Okay, it's volatility controlled. You can't gain or lose too much, keeping a nice steady flow. So with volatility control indexes and with a fixed index annuity by nature not allowing you to participate in downside and allowing you to participate in upside, not all of it, but some of it, and doing that in a tax-deferred compounding growth model, you have an ability to make money even in down markets, or in volatile markets, we should say. I'm not trying to sell this as snake oil. This is still considered a safe investment. This is considered something that rivals CDs and bonds. It's not going to sit there necessarily and have these yields that go off the chart every year. And we don't sell it as something that beats the market. And we never sell it as an accumulation tool, right? I say that over and over again, but I try to drive that home. Are you accumulating money in the market? Great. Fantastic. Keep funding your 401k. Keep funding your Roth IRA. But when it comes time to early pre-retirement and retirement, you need to consider the FIA. It is superior to the market in many different ways. And one of those is this. If we look at the average returns, okay, so this is the volatility control index, the Janus Consensus Volatility Control Index from Athene's Performance Elite. And we look at the most recent 10 years, it averaged 5.6%. Okay, pretty good. The best 10 years, it averaged 6.36%. Even better. But check this out. The lowest 10 years in the last 2 decades, it averaged 5.83%. How in the world is that? Because what defines the lowest 10 years? The one that has the most drops in it. Because if you take an average and it has 2 bear markets, like 2001 and 2008, that 10-year stretch would have a horrible average. But if you take those bear markets and eliminate them, take no losses, which is what an FIA does, the return from those bear markets, like 2009 and beyond and 2002 and beyond, actually have great acceleration. That's the power of volatility control. So yes, we can offer 5.6% over the last 10 years. Yes, it could even be better at 6.36%. But have you looked at your mutual funds? Have you looked up some of your stock investments? What did they do in the worst decade possible in the last 10 years? Did they average 5.83%? Heck no. That's the power of volatility control. And that's what we can provide for people getting ready for retirement and who are in retirement. So, lastly, let's look at some of these mutual funds just to gain some perspective. So let's be clear. I hear this a lot. You don't have a securities license. You can't talk about buying or selling stocks. I'm not talking about buying or selling stocks. I'm talking about public information, education. So what I pulled here were the top 4 mutual funds as far as returns from 2017. Okay, again, if I'm accumulating money, what a wonderful place to have it. The market goes up more than it goes down. But I want to show you something. Right here, if we look at performance, okay, best total return in 1 year, an eye-popping 60%. That's incredible. That's why this is rated as one of the #1 mutual funds. So if you bought it at the right time and sold it at the end of the year, you would have made 60%. Do we do that? No. Human beings, it's the rider and the elephant. Oftentimes the elephant allows us to get a little greedy and not sell at that time. And sometimes it's just pure luck. Oftentimes I talk about it's the environment. It's the outside factors that dictate when we sell. But regardless of all that, here's the counterbalance to that. The worst one-year total return is 3.52% negative. See, for the yin, there is a yang. And if you're heading into retirement, heck, you would love that to happen, but what if? Remember I talked about 27% of the time since 1970 the S&P has gone down? Would you get into an airplane knowing that 27% of the time it's going to crash? Absolutely not. Yet we head into retirement with this tool that we're just used to. We're used to the market. I understand that, respect that, and I appreciate that because it's the best accumulation tool that's out there for us in America. I believe in that. But when we head into retirement, what if this is your year and you lose 36%? What if you look at the worst 3-year total return of negative 3.86%? Not bad, but you can't go 3 years sustaining losses while you're taking money out and not putting money in. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's look at one more. Let's take this T. Rowe Price Media and Telecom. And here we go. Best one-year return, 68%. Worst one-year return, negative 46%. This is public information. Am I suggesting to the client that they buy or sell a stock or mutual fund? Absolutely not. Am I pointing out public information? Can I point out fees? Just to let you know, this does have fees. Just to let you know, this thing had a best year ever, a banner year of 68%. But it also had a year where you lost 46%. Is that the type of high stakes game you want to be in for your retirement? Probably not. So anyways, this is just to add some perspective, talking about the benefits of stocks versus FIAs in retirement. And oh, by the way, and this is a common misconception, I always think of Matt does a really good job. He kind of taught me this early on, and I've been using it ever since. We talk about the safety of an FIA. You can't lose money. You gained 5%. You gained money when the market went down. Volatility control. You won't have that negative 46%. But guess what? Don't be afraid to buy it even if the market goes up, because these things can accumulate a lot of money. It's not how we sell them, but as a footnote, as a postscript, they do have some high income potential. And you don't have to time when to buy and when to sell. It's done automatically. You don't have to think about implications of short-term or long-term capital gains, or do I want to sell this losing stock and this winning stock, or anything like that. There's no emotion to it. That's what I like about it. And to show this example, we have a 2-year point-to-point and a 1-year point-to-point on the S&P 8% volatility control. That is an index that is offered by Athene. And look at the returns. The 2-year got a 40.52% crediting, and the 1-year got a 16.81%. Would you be happy with those returns? And what's the counterbalance to that? 0. The worst this could do is 0. So you see, if I'm in retirement, the power and value of this safety tool with the potential accumulation versus the volatility of the market. It's our job to educate people and help them make a decision that makes the most sense for them and their loved ones in retirement. Hope this helps. Thanks, everyone. Make it a great week.
All right, guys, thanks for having me on the AMS Live. It's an honor to be on here, and these little individual products and tips and annuities have helped me make a lot of money in my 5-6 year career with Family First Life, and I'm extremely grateful and happy to give back. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that our team's been working on, and we're running a lot of final expense leads. We're running into a lot of people over the age of 65, and we're walking over business that's there for you to take, but a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm going to show you guys a couple things right now where if you just ask one extra question, then you can get an extra $2,000 in, I'm going to say 20 to 30% of the homes that you're in by saving the client money. And then you can go ahead and go back and apply that somewhere else where they can get more insurance, so you can make even more money and continue to help the client. What I'm going to share with you is Medicare Supplement. A lot of people get confused because there's two different types of Medicare programs. You got Medicare Supplement and Medicare Advantage. Medicare Supplement plans, you do not need an AHIP or any extra certifications. All you need is your health license, and a lot of people have it because with Medicare Supplement plans, they can go see any doctor that they want. Now, all you need to know is if you run into someone and they have a plan A, B, C, G, F, you can ask them how much they're paying for it, and you can quote our carriers and see if you can save them money. Now, if you can save them money, all of the plans do the exact same thing regardless of what company that they're with. So if you can save them $50 a month, then they're going to be happy. You ask them a couple health questions, they get approved, and then you've also found extra money to help them in other places. I'm going to give you a hypothetical scenario right now. I'm going to meet with a client. I'm in Las Vegas, and she's 67 years old. I'm going to go to Americo's quote tool. It's an online quote tool. You don't need a password to get it. If you need it, ask in the comments below and we'll get it to you. And I'm going to meet with a client named Sally, and she has a Plan G, and she's paying $300 a month for it. I'm going to show you guys on my computer real quick what would happen after I meet Sally and do that. So on my computer, I'm going to put in her age. I'm going to put in my zip code. I'm going to put in that she doesn't smoke. I'm also going to pick the plan, whatever plan you're comparing or quoting, trying to compare to. You can just click right here. And then if they live with somebody, they get a 10% discount. So what's cool about this is I can apply this and they'll automatically get a 10% discount. Why do they do that? The reason they do that is because if you live with someone, you have a higher chance of being healthier, and your health care will on average be less expensive. Someone's helping take care of you, or you're taking care of each other. I'm going to quote this out. So this shows that let's see here, Plan G with the household discount is $117 a month. Let's say that my client was paying $200 a month. I just found them extra money. Now, it's a super easy instant issue e-app with Americo. You log in, you answer, I believe it's 10 health questions, somewhere around there, and then it instantly approves them. And it's the same exact thing with every single company. So if they have a Plan G and you can save them money, all you're doing is putting them in a better situation. They keep their same doctor. Everything stays the same. Nothing changes. So with that being said, when you're out there, ask, what do you have for Medicare? Do you have a Medicare Supplement plan? If they have one, compare the quote. A lot of times you'll end up saving them money, and you'll put that extra money in your pocket. Now that extra money is renewal income. I actually like renewal income more than upfront commissions because I can do something one time and it's going to pay me several years. This is going to set you up to have an income stream for several years and just be more profitable. I hope this helps. Thanks for having me on.
Hey guys, Jared Henderson here with Family First Life Legendary down here in Central Florida. I just wanted to share about an annuity sale I made over the weekend. Sean wanted me to get on and kind of just lay out what it looks like for the client, what it looks like for the agent, and kind of just maybe give you guys some perspective. The biggest thing I can give you is keep it simple. You don't want to confuse the client. You don't want to give them more information that's going to confuse them. So early on, trying to sell annuities and pick everything apart, they seem complex, but they're really not. I would go in and I would, vomit all this information, not literally, but I would vomit all this information, to the client, and all I would end up doing is just confusing them. So keep that in mind, guys. You don't need to go in there and show them every product that you have. You just need to find something that's going to fit their situation and solve their problem. So long story short, I had a client. It was off a mortgage protection lead. She was about 68 years old. Health was decent. She wasn't super unhealthy or anything like that. We actually went with a final expense policy to pay the mortgage, to give her daughter about a year and a half in the house, to cover the mortgage payments and buy her time to sell the house and get the equity out and move on. But when I was asking all the questions on the financial inventory, that basically gave it away that she had about 70, I want to say it was about 74,000 in a savings account, which I don't see that a lot. But she had money in a savings account. It was liquid money, cash. And she, I asked her why, she had the money just sitting there in the savings account. And she said, well, it's safe there. And I had to kind of sit there and think about it for a second, because 2 years ago, if she would have said that, I would have probably agreed with her and gone, you know what, you're absolutely right. It is safe there. But when you really look at it, that money is not safe, because she's actually losing money by it sitting there. What I mean by that is, if you look at the rate of inflation, let's just say 1.8% per year, I know for a fact that she's not gaining 1.8% on her money sitting in a savings account. So when I basically explained that to her, she's like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. No one's really explained it to me that way. What would you suggest me doing? And I pitched her the annuity and basically just showed her biggest concern was losing money. That's why she doesn't have it in the stock market. And she wants to make sure whatever she puts in there, it's going to be safe. I made sure the money was in a savings account to make sure it was liquid. She didn't really need access to it. Even though we actually ended up only rolling about $50,000, I wanted her to have some money liquid in case of financial emergencies, medical expenses, whatever. But when I showed her the illustration sold it. I didn't even have to sell it to her. I just showed her, hey, if you put 50 grand in this plan, this is what it's going to look like approximately. And she was asking me what we needed to do next. And basically, once I did that, I basically just explained, we got to get approved first. So you always do the takeaway, and explain, look, we got to fill out the application. It has to pass through suitability. Okay. These are state regulated. This company has to make sure that this is putting you in a better financial situation. These companies won't allow you to do anything that doesn't help you. They won't let me put you in anything that doesn't make financial sense. And, she shook her head up and down. I said, okay, we're going to fill out the application today. We're going to send it off. It's going to take about, 2 to 3 weeks for it to come back and pass through suitability. It could be sooner. I like to say that, overpromise, underpromise, overdeliver. Because it might take 2 weeks, but it'd probably take a couple days, right? And the main thing is, if a thing is backed up, it does take 2 weeks, and then you're okay. So I said, once they approve through suitability, I track everything online. I'll give you a call, let you know. And basically what's going to happen is once they do either approve or make you a counter offer, they may say, hey, you can't do this amount, but you can do this amount. We'll do the we'll mail them a check, and they'll get the money, and they'll issue your policy. And she cut me a check on the spot. So I didn't make it super complex or go through all the different performance elites and 7. I just knew she wanted something that was going to grow her money, something that she could access it, God forbid, if she needed to. So that gives her up to 10% a year. We put her in the plus version, and she got a bonus. She was extremely happy for getting the bonus. So hope that makes sense, guys. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it super simple with your clients, and your first one's always gonna be your hardest. The training from Sean Ruggiero and Bridget's been super helpful. The AMS series is words don't describe how helpful the training is. To be able to go into a client's house and word for word be able to basically steal from other top producers and make money with it. So don't get discouraged. It's just like life insurance sales side. It's a numbers game. The more clients you see, the more you send in, the more you're going to get. And even if you lose more than you get, annuities pay pretty well. So go out there and help some families. Keep plugging into these trainings, and hope that helps, guys. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.
I just came back from meeting with Charles, our new financial advisor.
Good. What did you tell him?
I said we had just cashed in our 401ks and have $1 million for our retirement.
Good. What did he say?
He said he will manage that for us.
What will he do?
He will invest the money and tell us how much we can spend each year.
How will he manage the money?
He will invest it in good mutual funds, really good hedge funds, ETFs, and maybe structured products.
Which are the good mutual funds?
They are the ones that buy good stocks or bonds and don't buy bad ones.
Isn't that hard to do?
Yes, but Charles knows who can do it.
Do the mutual funds charge for doing this?
Yes. From 1 to 2% of our money every year.
Doesn't that mean that after 20 years they will have lots of our money?
Yes. But there will be more money because they will buy the good stocks and bonds.
Okay. Will Charles buy index mutual funds?
No. Because they buy both the good stocks and bonds and the bad ones too.
Okay. What are the ETFs?
They are sort of like mutual funds, but Charles can trade them every minute.
Do they buy good stocks and bonds too?
No. They allow Charles to bet on all kinds of things. He can bet on the good things and bet against the bad things.
Do the ETFs take some of our money too?
Yes. And we have to pay the Wall Street traders when Charles makes his bets. But he will only make good bets.
Okay. What are hedge funds?
They buy good stocks or bonds and bet against bad ones. That way they can make money when markets go up and when markets go down.
Isn't that hard?
Yes. But Charles knows the smart hedge fund people.
Do the smart hedge fund people take some of our money?
Yes. They take 2% every year and 20% of anything we win.
What do they take when we lose?
They take 2% of what is left every year.
Do they give back 20% of what we lose?
No.
What do they do if we lose a lot of money?
They close the fund and open a new one.
Okay. What is a structured product?
It goes up when the stock market goes up, but doesn't go down when the market goes down.
Where does Charles find these?
On Wall Street.
Where on Wall Street?
He used to get them from the Lehman Brothers, but they went bankrupt. But he knows other brothers on Wall Street.
How do the Wall Street other brothers make the structured products?
They have financial engineers make them out of derivatives.
Do you know what this means?
No.
Does Charles know what this means?
I don't think so.
Can the Wall Street other brothers go bankrupt too?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because they have better friends in Washington.
Okay. Do the Wall Street other brothers make lots of money?
Yes.
Will some of this be our money?
Probably.
Okay. Does Charles get money from the mutual funds, the ETFs, the hedge funds, and Wall Street?
Yes.
Does Charles charge us too?
Of course.
What else does Charles do for us?
He tells us how much to spend each year.
Good. How much of our $1 million can we spend this year?
40,000.
Why?
Because that is 4% of our $1 million.
Okay. How about next year?
$40,000 plus a raise for inflation.
Okay. How about the next year?
$40,000 plus another raise for inflation.
And after that?
$40,000 plus raises for inflation.
But what if our investments lose money?
We still spend 40,000 plus raises for inflation.
Why?
Charles says that after markets go down they usually go back up.
And if our investments make lots of money?
We still spend 40,000 plus raises for inflation.
Why?
Charles says that after markets go up they sometimes go back down.
But if we keep spending 40,000 plus raises for inflation, couldn't we run out of money?
Charles says scientific studies show we are likely to have plenty left for the kids after we are gone.
But we don't like our kids.
Charles says he knows some good charities.
Okay. But if we can only spend 40,000 each year plus raises for inflation, so we can leave lots of money to our kids or charity, what about our plans to take a cruise to Mexico?
Charles says we should take the ferry from San Francisco to Sausalito instead.
I suppose. Can we meet with Charles next month?
No. He is taking his whole family on a long cruise to Mexico.
Oh.